So I'm making this down and dirty Sandblaster right here, just out of this tub. I've got a couple of small things I got to sandblast. I used to have a regular cabinet that I had built and it was just taking up too much space. So what I did was I cut the top out of this tub here. I cut handholds for the gloves. From my old cabinet that I made, I still had the aluminum rings that I made. I went ahead and made, these are out of the back part. Bushing is just some conveyor belt. But the tubs are kind of flimsy and it's brittle. It's cracked where I've drilled holes even with brand new sharp bits. So I'm probably going to have to put a piece of wood behind here just to strengthen it up when I'm moving with the gloves. Went down to Harbor Freight, picked up a new pair of their Sandblast gloves. The old ones that I had, the mice got into them in the basement. But the big problem, what I'm working on right now, is where I cut the top out to put the glass in, the plexi. I put some silicone on it that I had here in the basement 2 days ago, and it's still absolutely soft. It hasn't hardened in the slightest. So I'm gonna clean that off, clean it up with some solvent, and then I have a tube of Lexel that hopefully is still good. We'll see if it flows and will stick, and then I'll glue the top on with the Lexel. After I use the silicone, I was planning on going back and maybe in each corner and a couple of spots on each side, drop some screws through there, some nuts and bolts, just to give it a little extra strength. But with the Lexel, I don't think I'll have to. That stuff hardens too well. So I'm just using a putty knife and just going along and scraping this stuff off. And it scrapes up pretty easy because it didn't, like I said, didn't harden even in the slightest. And then just wiping it off on this on these paper towels here. So that's what I'm working on. I'll show you a little bit more when I get moving on it here. Start attaching everything. But like I said, I think I have to cut. I don't know if I have any plexi, big enough plexi to fit here. I don't think the scraps I have from this plexi is big enough to cover those. But I do have some thin plywood or something that I can put in there just to stiffen this up so it doesn't crack anymore. So that's what I'm working on. All right, Hardwood Hollow Skills Channel. This is Dan. I'm out. All right, guys, here we go. I've got the plexiglass in the top connected in, and I got the extra piece of plexiglass here glued in. I've drilled the holes out, and I have the left glove installed now. And like I said, I got these from Harbor Freight. So all I got left to do now is go ahead and install the right glove. And I have it set up to use these 1/4 bolts. I had switched over bolts thinking I needed shorter bolts. But once I went through this, the aluminum, the glove, the plastic of the tub, the plastic of the 1/4 inch of the plexi, and then this fiber rim bushing I put on the inside, and the washers, it was just too much. So I had to go to a longer screw. So I'm using these, they're actually stainless steel, but it's what I had. They're 1/4 by, looks like 1.25 inches. So they'll drop through there, and then each of them gets a fender washer once it's done, like that. I didn't put the fender washers on here yet. Nothing's tightened up on this side. It's just set. I'll go back, put the fender washers in, and then I'll do this side. And then it'll technically be done. I may go back and on the inside, all around the rim, put a bead of caulking around there, because there is an opening from where the plastic kind of pulled away a little bit. We'll see. I'll use it first and see if I get any any sand up in between, because once I put the rim on, it pinches it down some. But we'll see how it goes. And then all I got to do is peel the protective plastic off of both pieces of plexi, and I'm gonna put let me set this down here, flip this over so you'll actually see how it's gonna set like this. And I'll put my hand in here, grab the gloves, and then this will set on top of a table I have outside that's got a mesh bottom, so all the sand will just fall through. So I've got plastic I can peel off here, and the same thing, I might put a bead around the outside, or around the inside rather, to keep grit from getting inside of there. And then I'm probably going to put on top here a 1/4 inch bolt at each corner with a fender washer. I'm running out of 1/4 inch fender washers, but I got a bunch more coming. Just ordered a pack of 100 1/4 inch fender washers. For those who don't know, the difference between a regular washer and a fender washer is a regular washer is typically a tiny bit bigger than the head of the nut or bolt that you're using, whereas a fender washer is significantly larger, so that when you put your bolt through, it covers a lot more area and makes it a lot stronger, so that on things like this plastic it won't pull through. So we'll come back and give you a look at it when I get the other glove put in and it's all done, and then we'll get a shot of it in action. All right, thanks for watching. All right guys, here's my down and dirty Sandblaster. Last thing to do is peel this film up. All right, now I can look down, see the gloves down there. I can reach in and do my sandblasting. This table will let the sandblast dust just fall through. I don't have a regular cabinet, so this is what I'm doing as a quick in-between thing. I'm probably going to put in this rim down here, I'll put a piece of metal or cut a piece of wood there, and then I can just put a clamp on each side to keep it in place. And then I can put my work in it first, do the sandblasting, and my sandblaster I'll run the hose up through the mesh to the inside, and I'll have a bucket down there. It's just a handheld sandblaster, so it's right here, so it'll come up through there, and then it'll be hooked up, and then I'll just use it like that. It's got ceramic inserts, and then you just make sure and clean it afterwards, because it'll get dust all over it in the cabinet scenario. I had an old cabinet that I had built out of wood, but it was just taking up too much room in my shop, so this is the replacement for it. All right, there you go. That's my down and dirty Sandblast cabinet. Thanks for watching.